welcome to the ScreamCast episode 96. I am Sean DeRager, and with me, as always, is old man Brad Henderson. That's who we have tonight.
96 episodes.
Yep. He's a bit grumpy.
It's a fucking endurance test right there. Listen to Brad's voice for actually 95 episodes, because you fucks recorded one without me that time, remember?
Yeah, me.
Actually, twice.
It's happened.
Oh, so 94 episodes.
Brad can subtract.
Well, there's actually 2 decent episodes out there.
Also with us is BJ Colangelo.
Hello, I am back.
Yes.
Why do you sound like you're from Drop Dead Gorgeous?
Oh, don't even get me started on that, or I will talk in a Minnesotan accent for the rest of the show, and then we will lose every listener that we have.
Too late.
Also joining us on the show is the man who's holding down the website, posting the news, posting the Blu-ray shit, Josh Obershaw. What's up, man?
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on.
Of course. We've been meaning to get you on the show. I mean, you've contributed to the site so much that we're glad to have you be a part of it.
Well, I've been having a lot of fun doing all of this stuff.
Was he just taking a big drink of, beer?
I think there's a time delay, like we're on the news.
One second time delay.
I kind of noticed that.
It's all good.
I
can fix it in post if we need to fix it. So
right.
we have wrapped up Heavy Metal Horror Month, and I think I can say that it was a success.
Success. S-E-X.
Success. Jesus. I had a lot of fun with the Heavy Metal Horror episodes.
I'm glad you did. It was all about you, Sean.
No, man, it was fun. It was a good job. good job, everyone. Go team.
Good job all around. Yay.
We had some good guests.
Now we can take a break.
We
can retire.
Yeah.
Live off interest.
A lot of good posts. We had a lot of good posts for the Women in Horror Month as well on the sites. I was just glad we can bring everything together. So
good times. Good times all around, Sean. Thanks for giving me a high five.
High five. The condescension is thick today. But we'll work through
You're really sassy today, Brad. I like it. It's a nice color on you. Continue.
Today we are talking Vinegar Syndrome's newish release, The Bees from 1978.
I think you say new. It's their latest. Listen, their latest batch, right?
Yeah. It was in their latest batch.
Oh, okay. Porn.
Yep. Anyway, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about their batch.
Sweet booty holes.
We're also going to be talking about Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat, and we'll be talking about Night Brings Charlie. But first, let's talk about
Sundown.
let's dive into what's on our doorstep.
Holy cow, I almost forgot.
We'll get the door.
Fuck what's on your doorstep. I'm going to talk about Sundown.
We'll get there, Brad.
I've got 2 things on my doorstep, and they're not that interesting. The first one was a rewatch. I rewatched Cuties, and I actually got to watch the special features, because the first time I bought it from Google Play. This time I actually got to see the hard copy special features.
Google Play? What the fuck?
Who uses Google Play?
It's like using Bing. Do you use Bing as well?
I get free gift cards whenever people write about me on Google for my job. So then I have these Google Play gift cards, and what else am I going to do with them? Watch movies.
I don't know, yeah.
So I do that.
What that is.
It's actually not that bad of a service. They have pretty decent stuff on
Can we watch movies together on Google Hangout?
I don't know. I've never tried that. Probably. That'd be fun.
All right, there you go.
I don't know. Google can do a lot of things. But I rewatched Cooties. It still holds up. It's still a lot of fun. The follow me, I do CrossFit joke still makes me laugh so hard that I almost pee myself. It's just such a fun movie, and you can just tell every second of it they all had a blast, which always makes it a lot more enjoyable to watch as a viewer. But the special features, the gag reel is real good.
I watched that.
And I mean, you'd assume that it would be, considering the cast. I mean, it's Rainn Wilson just making jokes about being Rainn Wilson. Like, he keeps looking at the camera, and there's some, nice little office in jokes of, why is he looking at the camera? I'm not on the show anymore. Like, it's pretty good. So I highly recommend that. And then the only other thing that I watched, because I was too busy belting my face off in a musical.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we freaking brought the roof down. It was awesome. It was a great show. If you are in Ohio and didn't see it, you suck and I hate you. Anyway, so I have fallen down this rabbit hole, which I'm sure other people out there know exists, but if you didn't, all of the little mini docs on the Return of the Living Dead films are all on YouTube. Like, the guy who made them, which is also the actor who played in the first film, he's I think this is a costume, is a fucking way of life. Like, that guy. Thank you, Scuzz. I can't remember his name, but apparently he made a bunch of mini docs on the entire franchise, and there's one for each movie, and then he uploaded them all to YouTube because he made them and he can do whatever the fuck he wants with them. And they're kind of awesome. Some really good candid interviews with, Tom Matthews and Linnea Quigley, and all of them just talking about their experiences on the film and how, it changed their careers. I highly, highly recommend them. The one on Return of the Living Dead 2 in particular is awesome because you have Tom Matthews, who is just, I don't know why I signed on for this. This was a terrible decision.
He's the best thing in the world.
Yeah, he's so brutally honest. Like, they ask him, well, what are your final thoughts on the film? And he goes, well, my mom told me that if I had nothing nice to say, to not say anything at all. So I'm not going to say anything. And he's just so brutally honest about it. And then the lead girl in Return 2, I can never remember her name. Oh, God, I'm terrible with names. But the lead
girl that plays the Dana Ashbrook's girlfriend.
She's the redhead.
Suzanne Snyder.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tom Matthews' girlfriend.
Yes, she is giving the most dignified beauty pageant non-answers for the entire documentary, and it's brilliant. Everyone is just like, this movie fucking sucked. It was a terrible experience. I don't know why we made this. This was an awful idea. This was a cash grab. And she's like, I learned so much from everyone, and I just had such a great time. Everyone was so kind and wonderful. I'm like, you are doing everything in your power not to be like, this fucking blew, but this is the only claim to fame that I have. So yeah, it's awesome. So I'm working my way through those. Highly recommend. Check them out. I'm going to start part 3 tomorrow, and it's going to be rad. But that's my doorstep, guys. It's really boring. Sorry.
All right.
Nice.
Josh, did you have anything arrive on your doorstep that you would like to talk about?
Actually, I've been going back and looking at a couple of the movies from Larry Cohen, and one of them that I watched was entitled God Told Me To.
Oh, sweet.
And, yeah, I didn't know what really to expect from this movie. I kind of assumed just from the title alone that it was going to be centered around one person who did something really, really awful. But no, this turned out to be a lot different than what I expected. It's a really great movie. I mean, it starts off innocently enough. You have this guy who's taking out people in New York City, with a sniper rifle. But this one cop, played by Tony LoBianca, I believe his name is, he starts going down this rabbit hole, and I don't know how to describe this movie without, spoiling anything. It gets pretty weird.
Yeah.
So that's one. And the other Larry Cohen movie that I saw was called It's Alive, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen already. I've never seen this movie before. It's really, really good. This is one of those VHS covers I remember seeing when I was a little kid, walking down the video store aisles, especially in the horror section, and just being enthralled with the box art. And the cover really freaked me out, so I never got to rent that as a kid, but I did finally watch that one, and that one, yeah.
I have the DVD. I haven't cracked it open yet. It's on my list of shame. I still haven't watched it.
If you want to mindfuck, watch part 3. That movie fuck you up for life. It's the weirdest piece.
I can't wait to check out the rest of this series.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch the rest of this series.
Don't get too excited.
Yeah.
The other one that I saw.
Sorry, Josh.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Trust me. No, we covered God Told Me To on the ScreamCast. I don't know, when was that?
Episode 51. We covered it, and New Year's
Jesus. Evil. Yeah, it was. To piggyback off what you said, that was. I don't know. That was an experience because I want to say, like, even I think when I watched it, it felt like the first time because I think it's been so long, or I just didn't see it at all. I can't really remember. But yeah, that was a really intense film. You know, especially I don't know. Due to the content of it, I think it was very well done without stepping on any toes, but being very suspenseful and brutal all at the same time. You know, that's something Larry Cohen can do. Like he's always a huge hit or miss. You know, like
he kind of goes big, or it's like go big or go home with him. It seems like.
Well, it's like he writes 10 screenplays a year, and like 5 of them hit, and then 5 of them bomb. That's what it feels like. He's like the old Takeshi Miike, and it's exactly what he's like. You know, he just like some things hit, just some things don't. You know, because I hated Q, the Winged Serpent. I fucking hate that movie.
Oh, really?
So much.
I love it.
But, you know, it's like special effects, the stuff, A Return to Salem's Lot. Did you just say the stuff was bad?
No, the stuff is awesome. The special effects for Q are so bad, but I love it.
Oh, yeah, Q's bad. I'm talking about special effects, the movie, though.
Okay.
You know, I really dig that.
Gotcha.
And, like, the ambulance. Like, he has some really fucking cool-ass movies, you know, and even stuff, because he writes a lot, too, you know, the Maniac Cop series and shit like that. I mean, I think he's all around a really decent writer and filmmaker, except for that one moment when he got stuck with phones. He was obsessed, like, with phone horror. Like, he had phone booth, he had cellular, and then he had that other movie.
Did he write those too? He wrote cellular and phone booth?
Yeah, he like did that, and then he had like that movie Captivity, but she was trying to get a phone the whole time.
Captivity.
But I was just like, 3 movies about phones. I was like, dude, did you like? Did the phone try to kill him or something?
It's the future.
Yeah, but like maybe 10 years too late. So, anyways, go ahead, Josh.
Because the internet was too complicated.
Oh, Message Deleted. That's the movie. That was about. Messages Deleted.
Wow.
The dude's got a big boner for phones.
Okay. The other one that I have is Two Evil Lives, which is the George Romero, Dario Argento collaboration from 1990. And I don't know. This is one movie where I kind of feel like it's really obvious that both of these guys are kind of running out of steam at this point in their careers. So, yeah, I didn't really think too much of that one. I mean, obviously I like the Dario Argento segment more so than the other one. But it just seemed kind of,
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I bought it just because it was going out of print and I haven't watched it yet.
It's out of print. I agree with you, Josh. It's just very, like, what you expect for 2 people like that to get together. Because, I mean, I don't know, running out of steam, I necessarily wouldn't say that, but you're just expecting more from these guys. Because I think Romero kind of went strong until, like, after Bruiser. I think, or I guess Land of the Dead, because I really enjoy Land of the Dead.
Man, I will defend Bruiser until I am blue in the face.
Yeah, Bruiser's my favorite Romero movie, so there's no way for me possible to say that he ran out of steam. Argento, I think Argento made some iconic films back in the day, just because visually I think he was very stunning. I think his movies, very much like Fulci, that sometimes you just can't grasp. Because I don't know if they're supposed to make sense, but visually they're very stunning. Music, I think that's what carries a lot of his films and why he's so iconic. But so yeah, something like this, you think 2 of them getting together and making, and kind of Argento making an American-made film with, filmmakers and kind of being on board with Romero, it would be a little bit more terrifying or scary, but it's just very bland stories. And they're Poe stories, right? Yeah, they're Poe stories. But man, you said the Argento you like more. Like that fucking cat torture stuff actually kind of got to me because it really felt like they were torturing the fucking cat. Like how they were picking it up and like grab it. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I can get I can't get into this. And fucking Harvey Keitel is like, does he want to fuck the cat or like what's exactly going on with his? So yeah, I couldn't get in that movie at all. And I think that was a first time for me last year watching it. It was just something that always kind of slipped by. I think I got it mixed up with Creepshow sometimes, but yeah.
Understandable. Yeah, I vaguely remember seeing this movie in the old Cinemax days in the early 90s before I even really know who George Romero or even Dario Argento. I didn't even know who that guy was back then, but I had vague memories of seeing that. So when I found it again, I thought, okay, I'm going to give this another chance because, I was excited. George Romero and Dario Argento. And yeah, that's a better way to describe my feelings about this movie. It's just a complete disappointment.
Yeah, I think I got it confused with Creepshow, not because of the movie wise, but because of Adrienne Barbeau. She plays that same bitch, like in Creepshow and in like the facts of whatever the person is, whatever she's playing, where she plays the wife. Whoa, doggies!
He's a gold digger.
Dog alert!
I know.
So, but anyways,
I just assumed that Sean hadn't fed his kids in a while.
Bailey, who's here? Who's here? Get him! Yeah, see, she's worthless as a guard dog. Cool. Anything else, Josh?
I got one more, and this is one that I've been waiting a long, long time to see. And I finally got to watch it, and holy shit, it's Nightmare in a Damaged Brain.
Nice.
Oh, you're talking about shit. What's the other name for that movie?
It's either to me, from what I know, it's known as either Nightmare or Nightmare in a Damaged Brain. Those are the two titles that I know it by.
Oh, Okay, I thought you were talking about the cat one. You're talking about Nightmare. Oh, thanks for bringing up.
It's Nightmare. That's the episode that you weren't on, Brad.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, Josh. I'm glad you're on a first show of this.
That's awesome. Me and Brian Sauer talked about it.
Why don't you listen to the episode? Why don't you just play the episode right now?
No, Josh. By all means, I want to hear Josh's thoughts on it. Okay, this movie's batshit insane.
It is insane, and it did not disappoint. I mean, it's just a scuzzy, vile, and jaw-dropping. It did not disappoint one bit.
By the way, that was ScreamCast 32 that Brian Sauer and I discussed.
I don't want to talk about it.
Nightmare.
So what was your excuse for missing Nightmare? That's my interest.
You had some family matter you had to take care of or something, Brad. Something came up.
Yeah. I think something came up with my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about ages ago.
Fair.
Ages ago. When ScreamCast was bright and funny.
I mean, I've never missed an episode ever, so.
Awesome. Yeah, Nightmare is great. I think it's out on Code Red. And I think it's still available here and there. I'm not sure. It's one of those ones that we thought was going out of print, and then so I bought it for $40, and then a month later there was more.
Oh jeez.
Oh, you mean
I just randomly.
We lost Josh Obershaw.
Oh no!
I'm still here. No, I'm still here.
What were you gonna say?
I'm sorry. I actually randomly found it new at a record store in nearby Fresno.
Oh, nice.
And I just did not expect that. So I saw it on the shelf. I'm like, yoink. Fine. I've waited too long to see this fucking movie, and I'm going to buy this thing right now. Well, actually, my brother bought it for me.
That's a nice find there, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm surprised.
All right, Brad.
Nothing. Pass.
You have nothing at all.
I don't believe you.
Dude, I don't have anything right now.
Wow.
Like,
shocked.
Are you sick?
No.
Do you have an incurable
broken?
disease?
No, you know what? From running this fucking metal horror mania bullshit that we did, I'm fucking done. Like, I've just
You've been busy, yeah.
You're just never gonna watch anything ever again.
No, I'm not watching any movies. Like, the movies we're gonna talk about, I haven't seen shit.
All right, well, I will go. Here, I got a couple here.
Oh, thank God.
I finally got around to watching Eduardo Sanchez's 2014 Bigfoot movie, Exists.
Oh, yeah.
You mean you watched the camera point at the ground for an hour and a half?
And I think I'm done with first-person / found footage movies for a while.
It would be so bad if the
This-
fucking camera didn't point at the goddamn ground the whole entire movie. Like, I love found footage. But, dude, if you're going to carry the camera, at least put it on your shoulder.
Well, yeah, but it's like this guy. There's so many issues.
It makes it more authentic when it just points at the ground.
Yeah, but it's like there's so many moments where this guy should not have been filming at all. Like, at all.
Like, when he's in the fucking RV and he turns around to film Bigfoot running, like, when he's filming, like, out the window.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, like, it was just for scares. That's the only thing that I did like about the film is that we did get to see Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot was pretty badass. I will say the moments we saw Bigfoot is pretty badass.
God,
but
dude, like, you have to utilize, like, I understand you want to make it real, like, you know, found footage realism. But, I mean, if you're not, like, I don't know. There's so many issues with found footage where it can go both ways. But I feel like this one really, really tried to be a little too real, and like this is the movie that makes people sick.
Absolutely. I haven't finished it yet for that reason.
This actually took me a couple months to finish.
Holy shit!
That doesn't surprise me because it takes you weeks to finish one movie.
Well, I started a while back, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not feeling it," and then the other day I was like, I gotta finish this goddamn movie. So it's only an hour and 20 minutes long. It shouldn't take me so long to watch this thing. So I finished it.
There should be a fan edit with just the actual watchable footage. It's probably 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, how was the last 20 minutes? Because that's the only thing I haven't seen yet.
The last 20 minutes are actually decent.
Just watch the last 20 minutes of the flick.
Yeah, the last 20 minutes aren't that bad.
Grow up, so I haven't gotten there.
They actually, what they do,
although he shouldn't be filming,
is pretty. Yeah, he shouldn't be filming, but the ending is actually pretty decent.
Damn it! All right, I'll report back next week with the ending.
Anyway, I mean, I'm stupid because I wanted it on Blu-ray, I wanted it in HD, so I got a UK version, and then I found it was like $3 or $4 to buy on Voodoo Digital or whatever, so I bought that. So now
so you own it in two forms now?
I think the Blu-ray I bought was like $7. I only spent a total of $10, so it's not that bad. But still, it's like.
But you still own it in two forms.
I still own it in two forms. I'm selling that Blu-ray.
Well, you know, I don't blame you because I have stood by Sanchez a lot. I've really loved pretty much everything he's done. You know, I love Blair Witch Project. I love Altered. Seventh Moon is probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I fucking love Lovely Molly. That's
I really like Lovely Molly
creepiest movies I've seen in a long fucking time. And the ending of that movie still sends chills down my spine thinking about her walking outside the house. Like, that shit is scary. The VHS 2 segment I enjoyed. And Exist, I was pretty excited about it because I mean I like Bigfoot.
Well, the premise is great.
Yeah, but it's just like I don't know. You would think there would be just a little. Like I love how he handled the found footage aspect in Lovely Molly. You know, it's not a found footage movie, but there's certain times where it becomes found footage in a way, and I really enjoyed that. And I think who's this camera guy? He uses John Rutledge, I think, is his camera guy, and he's a great cinematographer. But you just would think that you would, as a cinematographer, you would say, "Listen, let's not do this because this is exactly what people do not like right now. Like, this is the reason why found footage is kind of shit on, is because of this movement that we're doing with the camera.
Yeah, I like it when it's a character actually trying to make a documentary. Like The Visit, I actually didn't mind the found foot that first person element because it was actually a girl trying to make a documentary. So
yeah,
you know, I have some issues with that movie, but that movie didn't kill it like this. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I mean, now I'm terrified to watch Willow Creek because I have that too.
Oh, don't worry. Willow Creek, there's like 45 minutes where the camera's just pointed on them inside of a tent.
God damn it.
See,
right.
I do not understand the love for Willow Creek.
Huh. Well, it's Bobcat Goldthwait, like, people like him. That's what made me
think that it was coming from, is that, you know, that clown movie he did God Bless America. Yeah. He had, what was the other film that he did?
I think it's just he's given a pass because...
Well, yeah.
Because he's Bobcat. Yeah,
he's made himself like an established filmmaker. So in Willow Creek, I was like, holy shit, it's doing a horror film. And I really was enjoying part of the movie, but then I don't know if I just need to watch it again. But man, that movie was a complete bore fest for me.
It's so slow and there's no payoff.
And I swear to God, they're in that tent crying for like 45 fucking goddamn minutes.
Well, that's what I like about most found footage. You know, what's that one where it takes place in the catacombs at Paris? As above, so below. Like, at least there's like a 30 to 20 to 30 minute, like, batshit crazy payoff. Like, I love that ending. That was it. Frankenstein's Army, is that the other one where it's like takes place in the 40s and there's no way.
Frankenstein's Army's fun because of the fucking monster.
Oh man, yeah, but there's a payoff. There's a payoff to it. Like, Exist almost had that, but I feel like they dropped the ball somewhere along the line.
They dropped the ball in the filmmaking aspect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because at least on these other things, you can see it's still first person, but you can see the craziness going on around them. Just like in VHS, that haunted house segment in the end, like, that's great. You know,
yeah. See, I don't mind shaky cam when you're running, but the whole fucking movie seems like that. Like, once Bigfoot shows up, Bigfoot shows up, like, that's immediately when they start wanting to film ants on the ground. It seems.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, if you're looking, I know it was only released on DVD. If you're looking for an HD copy and don't want to buy a Blu-ray, Vudu or whatever, or anything that has ultraviolet, if you purchase, it's available in HD. But I don't think it's going to do much. But if you're curious, I would say rent that sucker. But by now, most of you have probably seen it. So, next up, I watched Kino released Highway to Hell from 1991. On Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
And this movie was, I had never seen it. I'd always seen the VHS cover, and I always wanted to watch it. Who's the director of this? It says, is this right? 8D Jong?
Yeah.
Is that right?
That sounds right.
It's from Netherlands.
It's the guy that directed...
Drop Dead Fred.
Drop Dead Fred and shit.
Okay. This was a really fun movie about a guy and his girlfriend. They're told not to go down a certain road at a certain time at night, and they get chased by a cop. And basically, the girlfriend gets kidnapped by a cop from hell, and her boyfriend follows her into hell to save her. And hell is like this cartoony, like, I don't know. It's this cartoony desert with a bunch of characters. Ben Stiller is in it along with his dad.
Yep.
It's just very odd, but this movie has some really fun kind of devil effects. Of the devil, he has like three or six horns or something like that. But this is just a crazy film. The makeup design on the hell cop is pretty awesome, and he, instead of regular handcuffs, they're literally handcuffs. They're disembodied hands.
Cuffs
on a
of
chain.
hands.
And that gag is pretty great. So, and then there's a scene with a woman she-devil type thing that tries to seduce our main character, played by is it Patrick Bergin? But all in all, really fun movie. There's a great interview with the guy who did the special effects. I'm having a brain blank on his name. I should know this.
You should.
I should, because it's his name's Steve Johnson, just like one of our listeners.
This is a scary guy.
Yeah, but there's a special effects guy, Steve Johnson, and they interview him here, and he was talking about how much like meth they were doing during the shooting of the film, just to stay awake and get everything done. And he's had some great stories about the makeup effects. So
I mean, thank God for Adderall, guys. Now we don't have to have filmmakers doing meth anymore.
I know. Well, they were probably out near, in the desert, so there's probably plenty of meth out there.
Yeah, meth and cacti.
What's fun about that movie is that when you piece it together with, because it's written by Brian Hedgeland, who did like 976 Evil, and he did like Dream Warriors, and then all of a sudden, like, he just started making Oscar-winning movies with, like, L.A. Confidential and, like, Mystic River and shit like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And now he's, like, one of the most sought-after screenwriters in Hollywood.
Yep.
Like, how crazy is that shit? And it's funny, because he's never really went back to, like, horror, because he always made, like, because I consider Nightmare on 4 one of the better. That's the
Dream Master.
Yeah, the Dream Master one. Because I personally like that. I love 976 Evil.
I love 976 Evil.
But I really liked what he did with that Clint Eastwood movie, where it was like a serial killer. Like, he kind of dug back into his roots of horror. God, what is the name of that fucking movie?
Oh, Bloodwork.
Yeah, Bloodwork. He kind of went back into horror for a little bit there, and then he had that Vampire's Assistant movie in kind of later 2000s.
Cirque du Freak, the Vampire's Assistant.
Right. Yeah.
That movie wasn't great, but, it was fun. It felt in vein of kind of like those 80s,
but that also came from, like,
fun.
a source material that wasn't, like, an original story. So
Right. But I'm just saying, like, just how it was presented, it felt like one of those, it felt like a kid's horror film.
Felt like a once bitten kind of thing.
Oof.
No. That reference
felt more like it felt more like Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat.
Oh man! Oof. All right, there we go. That's all I got. I've received a whole bunch of stuff, but I haven't got around to watching it. I'm thinking about doing a YouTube show, Brad, where I just show off all the shit that I got and I don't watch it, and I just talk about it.
Unbox shit,
and I just read the back of it.
You read the back. I really love this movie because this guy, he goes into this town and he meets a bunch of people.
Here, I'll try it right now. We'll see if this works. I got this movie from Kino Lorber. It's a Sean Connery movie with Trevor Howard. It's called The Offense. It's about like a guy that gets accused, and and Sidley
It's exactly
Lumet
how those
directs
videos
it,
are, and it drives me fucking crazy.
It's just this cop kind of drama on Blu-ray. I think it's on Blu-ray for the first time ever. Now, there's no special features on this, but it is 112 minutes long, and it is in 1080p. What do you guys think?
It sounds like every
It kind of sounds like me where I'm still right.
Do you know what the sad part is? If you really did make a movie or a YouTube video of that would have more hits and listens than anything we've done the last year.
Yeah, I know. It's the sad thing.
Because a bunch of fucking 12-year-olds are going to be hanging out around their YouTube channels, be like, "Oh, look at this new guy! This is a great show."
And you can call yourself Blu-ray lover.
Blu-ray lover.
Because most of them have the most ridiculous, like, fucking, like, or they put Blu-ray in their name.
This is Sean DeRager. I'm Blu-ray suede shoes.
I'll pull the movies out of my fedora.
Blu-ray Junkos. That could be your gag, is that you put all your Blu-rays in your Junkos.
They totally fit.
Them out one by one.
They would fit, and I'll wear my fedora.
Oh, God.
And I'll wear one of those, those metal bead necklaces? I'll wear
the big
one
balls?
of those.
Get one of the big balls?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Big brass balls around my neck.
I love it.
Okay, moving along here.
So a good segue
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
BJ mentioned, Brian, because his name is Brian Peck that was making those shorts. He also directed a movie called The Willies, which is a lot of fun. But if we're talking about Return of the Living Dead 2, Dana Ashbrook is in Return of the Living Dead 2, but he's also in Sundown, the Vampire Retreat. Am I right?
About that yet.
Look at your 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon shit you just pulled.
Oh, that's
that was
amazing.
Nice.
We'll be getting to Sundown, the Vampires in Retreat in just
right now.
a little bit, but we got to jump into some Vinegar Syndrome action and talk about 1978's
I want to talk about Sundown.
The Bees.
Catching bees for some old jerk. You're putting me on. What do you mean, catching bees? No shit, the old guy's paying us to catch him some bees. Yeah, how much is he paying? None of your goddamn business. $2. $2 for bees?
You ruined everything, dude.
Brad?
I built that up. Like, the audience is, like, on the edge of their seat.
Yep.
Like, yes.
Well, they're going to have to wait.
Brad, take your hand off your dick and let's talk about the bees.
No, my hand would be
So,
on my dick
first
when we
things first
talked
with
about
the bees. Can we please discuss Chris Garofalo's amazing poster artwork for the bees?
Oh, it's
because
incredible.
It's fucking awesome.
It's fantastic.
Like, I own a lot of Chris Garofalo stuff, and he's a rad dude. He's a Wastelander, so he comes to Cinema Wasteland. And I always get to check out his stuff, but like his technique is insane, and you don't realize it unless you actually own one of his pieces and you can see the intricate details. But that cover, man, like that is beautiful, and you know he did that shit by hand. So he drew all of those little bees by hand, and that's just like it brings me back to before the pre Photoshop nonsense where poster art, just turned into 5 faces in front of a black screen, a la The Faculty, a la Scream, a la I Know What You Did Last Summer, all of them. And he, really brings it back to that old school style of, the art form of poster art. And it just makes me feel so much better to know that a company like Vinegar Syndrome is like, you know what, we appreciate the aesthetic to the point where we're not just going to take some Photoshop bullshit and make it look like a cover. We're gonna do it right, and that small attention to detail alone is what makes supporting brands like Vinegar Syndrome worth it, because they genuinely give a shit. I will give them all my money for the rest of my life. I mean, they're the best.
So The Bees is a 1978 bee film, and there was a whole shit ton.
There's a ton of bee films.
In 76 to 77 to 78, the Savage Bees,
films now. What are you
Killer
talking about?
Bees,
Bee films in the
Deadly
80s,
Bees,
bee films
Attack of the Bee Girls.
Yeah.
These bee films came out on direct-to-video.
What?
I'm just being a dick talking about bee films.
I know that there's
Apparently my joke didn't land.
The Swarm. But this one, I don't know how notorious this one. I was thinking that this was one that I saw, but I don't think it is, because I've got them. They've all have been blended together in my brain. I think it must have been like Attack of the Killer Bees is what I saw. But this is another one of those bee films. Actual
bee
bug
movie?
bees.
Yeah, Bug Bee is not just a bee movie.
Right. Starring John Saxon, Angel Tompkins, and John Carradine.
Woo.
And John Carradine was apparently pretty sick when they got him. He was so like sickly or whatever that no studio wanted to basically hire him. And the director for this film said, "Fuck it, I want John Carradine." So he hired John Carradine. So otherwise, like, John Carradine wouldn't have worked that year, or at that time. So it was directed by Alfredo Zacharias.
Who did Demonoid.
Yes, he did Demonoid. The interview with him is pretty fantastic on this.
It's a lot of his interview is short, but it's a lot of fun.
It's great. I mean, he gives
he's like the best person for an interview for like 15 minutes, because he gives you the total rundown of the history of the bees and behind the scenes. Like, everything he says is interesting.
Yeah,
he doesn't he's not like us where we talk for an hour and a half. You don't get anything from it. He's like 15 minutes and he like gives the whole fucking spiel about how the bees operate and all that shit.
Well, he knows exactly what he's going to say. But, I mean, so the fact that this is even out on Blu-ray is incredible. The fact that it looks as amazing as it does just blows, and that's what blows my mind about Vinegar Syndrome is just how amazing their films look. And it's the most, I mean, it's the bees. They could have just taken some 36 or some 35 millimeter and just did a transfer of that and slapped it on a Blu-ray. But I know that they went all the way to Mexico to get this. They had to like find this film or get it across the border. Isn't that what they told us, Brad? Last time we talked to them? Because the last time we talked to them, they were still like waiting for it to arrive.
Yeah, I think that was I think that was this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see. Yeah. I think it was.
I think it was because this is the one that I was anticipating. This is like the last one I was waiting for on my my package when I did their
yeah, you always want Indiegogo package.
Heck yeah.
Same.
But but it's just incredible how great this movie looks. And let's not kid ourselves. This ain't high cinema here. This is a goofy.
Are you trying to tell me a movie about highly intelligent bees from South Africa is not high art? Fine.
Well, I mean,
the movie is goofy, but you want to talk about a payoff.
Oh yeah.
That we won't ruin it for people because I truly think in order to get people to watch something called The Bees and just this isn't a great movie. But, I mean, the work that was put into this release alone and then the payoff of what happens with these bees, like, Janice was laying on my lap, like, she was doing, homework or whatever, or reading, and then she looked up during the final, 10 minutes of this movie, and she goes, what the fuck is happening? If you literally walk in at the end of this movie, you're like, what the hell is happening in the world and what was going on in 1978? This was an actual plot device that they used. And, it's just so fucking funny. And makes the movie all worth it. And just watching people get stung and fall down is hilarious. Watching popcorn fly in front of the screen or whatever the hell they were doing. That's all it looks like. They're shooting popcorn. Looks like Killer Clowns. Suzanne Snyder reference. Trailing Me Dead too. She's taking the popcorn gun and just shooting it at people so it looks like bees. We
can't forget there's also the sweet clips of stock footage that are just kind of God. Intermittent inside of this film.
Yeah, no, it's fucking great. But I tell you one thing with this movie and any insect movie like this, with bees or wasps, I am not scared of anything. But if something flies near me and I don't know what it is, I fucking flip out. And if I see bees or wasps, I fucking run like a little fucking girl.
Are you allergic or are you just a bitch?
No, I got stung when I was little, on the top. This bee didn't just sting me on the arm, on the leg. He stung me right on the top of my head.
Oh.
And I was maybe 10 years old, and that shit hurt so bad. I will never forget that pain, and ever since then, I've been scared to death. And I was stung last year. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but a total of 8 times in the fucking leg because I hit a fucking nest.
Oh.
And I was mowing my grass. Yeah, because I do that shit still. I was mowing my grass and I hit a shrub that obviously contained a family of motherfuckers. And I turned around. All of a sudden, I just went down. Because that pain was so excruciating. It just, all in one leg, 8 stings. Man. It felt like I got shot with, a mini shotgun or something like that. And I, stopped mowing. I was trying to, run back to, the house. And, my leg was just, it felt so fucking numb. It hurt so goddamn bad. So, yeah, each time I get stung, it's a fucking chore. So when I see
just
like
watched
John
My
Saxon,
Girl a lot.
yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. Those fucking bees took Macaulay Culkin from us.
I know. Now he can't see without his glasses, guys.
He can't see without his glasses. But but scenes like where John Saxon like goes in and starts talking to the bees, and they're like crawling on his face, and it looks like one goes in his mouth.
Oh yeah, they're
Like,
with bees.
Yeah, no way.
That scares the shit out of me. Because I look and I'm like, because some movies like they paste on like fake bees and fake flies.
Yeah,
But then you have this, and you have like Kingdom of the Spiders,
Amityville.
where they're like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna put real bugs on you."
Yeah, exactly. Like Amityville Horror, the priest is fucking freaking out in the upstairs room, but the glue, the flies are like pasted on his face. No, we don't have that. We literally have bees crawling in John Saxon's mouth and nose, and that fucking terrifies me. Because I'm like, as an actor, why? As a person, why would you say, can you just glue these on my face?
Because it was the 70s and the ASPCA wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah, this year they just CGI that shit. Josh, what are your thoughts on The Bees? Was this your first time watching it?
This is my first time watching The Bees. I actually never heard of The Bees until Vinegar Syndrome put it out. And, all he had to say was John Saxon, and I'm in. So watching the movie, I had a lot of fun with this movie. Everybody just seemed to be having a lot of fun doing this movie, and it really, really did rub off on me. This is one of those like late 70s movies. It just reminded me of like being homesick from school, and The Price is Right is over. I'm flipping through channels. Oh, let's see. $25,000 Pyramid, reruns of Chips. Oh, what's this movie? There you go. And yeah, that's what it reminded me of. And I just had a lot of fun watching it. It was just so crazy.
Yeah, John Carradine is doing like this like German accent, and he's just having a ball.
That was hilarious.
Angel Tompkins. I mean, come on.
Yeah, what about Angel
Hot
Tompkins?
to trot. That's all I gotta say.
She's a cutie.
The thing that made me just crack up was in the beginning of the film, her character's husband dies in a freak killer bee accident. And she has to come back and try to bring more samples of these bees. But it's like all of a sudden she's like kind of flirting and hitting on, and John Saxon is hitting on her. It's like,
it's because she's doing karate with him.
Her husband just died.
Dude, Karate John Saxon can do that to people.
I guess so.
Like he's in his black belt. He's coming from Enter the Dragon. You're like, man, this guy's so much better than my past husband.
My favorite quote is when she comes out and she's like, I'm ready to work out. And he just looks at her and goes, well, you might need some pants to work out.
Well, you have this pathetic, old man.
Though, isn't it?
What?
Like, I'm just thinking about, like, that's like a weird trend that I've never thought about until you just said it, of like opening scene, husband dies, and then they're almost immediately thrown into a new romantic relationship. I was just thinking of like Delamorte, where like she's at the funeral of her husband, and the next day she's like, all right, like, let's just fuck on his grave. It's cool.
Yeah,
why not? I mean, it worked for Will. What was that movie where Will Ferrell is like cruising funerals? What movie is that?
Did you just mention a Will Ferrell movie in the middle? Like,
yeah, it's a Will Ferrell movie where he goes to funerals to pick up girls. It's hilarious.
It's Sean. Have you met Sean, Brad?
It's a movie.
I don't know if you've met Sean.
Vince Vaughn is in that movie too.
Can we just
Wedding Crashers? Move on.
Wedding Crashers.
Can we just talk about? I mean, we have Angel Tompkins. That's with this pathetic old man.
Did you just call her Angel Topkins?
Angel Tompkins, Topkins. Who's with this pathetic old man. Wouldn't you want to date the guy that fucking fought Bruce Lee?
Well, yeah. I mean, John Saxon, man.
I mean,
those eyebrows,
that fucking
man,
took on
so
Freddy single-handedly. I mean, he didn't take on Freddy yet, but you know he's going to.
Oh yeah.
We all know.
You're like, you know what? You're gonna conquer some kind of fucking iconic. You're gonna fight him. You might lose, but you're gonna fight him.
And by conquer, you're going to lock your daughter into a house with some barred windows.
Yeah.
Jackass.
Yeah. You're going to watch your wife burn on the bed, you fucking bastard.
We are going into some rabbit holes here.
But I'm just saying. John Saxon is fucking great. The bees.
I can't not think of Nicolas Cage. I'm sorry. He's ruined any kind of bees.
Oh God!
Like
from that movie with when he did
the Wicker Man remake.
Yeah. That's the best.
It's been ruined.
So
yeah, good job, Vinegar Syndrome. You guys are great.
Maybe they should have put that on the front cover instead of this art. They should put this Nicolas Cage freaking out.
I get to see them in a couple months, and that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to grab the Blu-ray off their cable and be like,
"No, I'm making custom covers. Custom covers of the bees."
I tell you,
I'm just going to start slipping that picture in all of the when they're not looking on their table. Sorry, James. Sorry, Brandon.
The original cover is pretty awesome with a gigantic bee's head and the of course the 1970s cool. Scantily clad woman, about to be eaten by the gigantic bee.
Like you do.
Like you do. You're running from the bee head.
I never run from the bee head.
It is hilarious. Like, this movie was rated PG.
PG-13 didn't exist yet.
I know. This good old 70s.
Yeah, but why wouldn't it? I mean, is there anything in this movie aside from...
Not really. Just scary bee violence.
Sexual bee violence. Rated PG-13 for scary
there
bee
is some
violence.
Scary bee violence. Because I'm sitting there, like, the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, why are you guys doing this?
See, but the problem is... We need to
scared.
save
I think
the
I'm going to get stung.
But now this movie is going to make everyone want to kill bees, and then our whole ecosystem's going to crash. Save the bees.
Oh, they found more bees. Didn't you see the article? They found more.
We're at what you need to do?
They found the lost bees. We're fine.
You need to convert this shit into 3D and screen it in a theater, and then just let like 100 flies loose or 1,000 flies, and just watch people freak out.
People will I was going to say kill each other, but that sometimes happens in movies.
Oh, they're going to shoot somebody in the theater? Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good joke.
Thanks for bringing that up, PJ. Jeez.
You're the one who brought up shooting. I was just going to say people would kill each other if there were bees in the theater.
I'm just saying I think it would be really fun because also to watch from a distance, because when people try to swat a fly or something buzzing around their face, or they walk into a spider web,
it's the funniest thing in the world.
It just looks like they're going crazy. Oh shit!
There was times where because I lived down in Iowa and I'd have to be outside mowing the lawn, and we had these crazy, not bees, but these crazy fly type blood sucking flies that weren't flies, but they would circle your head. I don't know what the fuck they were. They would circle your head, and you would hear zoom, zoom, and all of a sudden it would do a dive bomb right into your head and start trying to suck your blood. Terrifying. I almost just had a panic attack just now.
It sounds like you're out of breath.
You just hallucinated this.
No, it was real, and it would always happen. It was ridiculous. The one scene that I want to bring out, I think this is the standout scene, was when the two henchmen go to the bee facility.
The bee facility.
Whatever the bee facility to either rob it or whatever, to attack, to attack or kill someone or whatever. But there's the Asian guy and then the white guy. And the violence that ensues is fantastic. No?
Yeah. No. I agree.
They unwittingly release the bees.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on bee facility.
What is it? It's they have this room that they have the bees in that they've converted.
It'd be a sanctuary, not a facility. I'm just picturing some sign, bee facility. Do not open.
I don't know. Anyway, if you got this package, was it the February package for Vinegar Syndrome?
Where's this going?
You basically got a lot of...
Are you stuck on the bee facility?
The bee facility. It's funny because you basically got a lot of porn and then the bees. Which is
Vinegar Syndrome
And a
to a T.
couple Peakorama, one Blu-ray, one DVD. You got Candy Goes to Hollywood on Blu-ray, and then Sensual Encounters of Every Kind.
Well, it's Erotic Adventures of Candy and Candy.
Okay, well, the text was too small. I didn't see it.
So,
and then Sex and Astrology.
Sex and Astrology, Sensual Encounters of Every Kind.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the Candy movies are great because they're really funny. I haven't seen Sex and Astrology yet. Such Sensual Encounters of Every Kind, Total Bone Zone, 100%. So definitely, wanking
Sick
it.
Bone Zone reference.
So these packages are, it's very unique because I don't think any other company. I mean, some companies mix a little bit of the porn with stuff. I know Synapse for a while was doing stuff.
They still are.
They still are, but they're not embracing it in like, here's a package of our releases this month, right?
Yeah, it's like
Vinegar Syndrome
also it's like Intervision now is doing the kind of porn packets.
Okay. Okay.
So, anyways, yeah, but yeah, it's funny watching them throw in, because now I think in March we have Pigs. And then we have basically the same thing because we have the release of Pigs, we have that Philip Marsack movie Blue Ice, we have the single without the soundtrack Sex World, and then something else. I forget what was the other release, but anyways.
And they redid. Was it last in January that they redid? They put Pretty Peaches on Blu-ray with the 3-pack.
Yeah. They
Yes.
put because the first one was released limited edition on
Right.
Blu-ray, and then the DVD was 2 and 3 were on DVD. Now they're on Blu-ray. But the same thing goes for Erotic Adventures of Candy and Candy Goes to Hollywood. Those released on DVD a couple years ago, and now they're on Blu-ray. I think basically what it is they, starting out, they're not exactly sure exactly what's going to sell with this type of thing. So I think if it sells well enough and there's a demand for it, I think they are putting stuff out on Blu-ray, because they can, and it obviously will sell more. Yeah. So
I mean, if you're interested in these releases, I mean, the packages.
Keep in mind that they said. Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Erotic Adventures of Candy Goes to Hollywood double. There is a glitch in the Blu-ray, so if you did receive it, if you did buy the pack, make sure you watch it, and they are going to do they're doing a repressing, and it'll be available in the middle of March.
Here's what's cool about what they do. If you order directly from them, they have your information, and they're just going to automatically send you the fixed DVD.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fantastic.
Because they're the best.
So what I was going to say was these packages, if you want to get some wacko, weirdo horror stuff along with some naughty bits, these packages are pretty, like the March package for 2016, if you pre-order right now, it's only like $63.
Yeah, I know,
and it's
right?
worth way more than that.
Yeah, that's less than $20 a title. I mean, I know you're getting DVDs in there, but this next package that they're doing is 3 Blu-rays.
Yeah.
3 Blu-rays, 1 DVD, and I mean, and the best thing about it is that it's very much like Arrow. When you purchase these titles, you know that you're getting the best. Like, there's not going to be anything else that comes out other than its special features, maybe. But these are some of the best transfers that, you're going to have.
I wish more of these companies did this type of thing, because this is great. I mean, can you imagine if Arrow did this? Or, I mean, it's a great idea, and I hope more companies kind of get wind of this.
Kind of the monthly packages.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would do an Arrow monthly package in a second.
I think they would sell a lot more than releasing single titles for $40.
Absolutely.
They have a limited time.
Well, I think Arrow would be a little more pricey because they have the box sets and stuff. But
but I'm just saying, I think it would help out a lot because I know a lot of people that purchase these monthly packs, and they also purchase they also have that deal. Usually on Black Friday every year that you can, purchase for like $700 some. You can get the monthly pack at even a more discounted rate. Yep. So you pay $700 up front, and then you guarantee for a year. all the titles. I think that's a really cool thing, and they really adhere to their fans and fan base. They listen, they communicate. I think that's essential when you have companies, because there's it's a trust issue.
Yeah.
Because we see what's happening with these other companies, how they don't respond, how they don't address things, and
okay, that leads me into something else. So we're probably going to be discussing these packages on a monthly basis. I think we're working stuff out, but since they're the only company doing these types of packages, I think it's only fair that we talk about them once a month. But if we're talking about the bees, we had to bring it up now. But so what I want to talk about, talking about these other companies, I was going to bring it up earlier, but I totally forgot. I want to move on to our next two movies because it's starting to get late. But I did want to bring up what the fuck is Scream Factory thinking?
I can't
with
fucking
releasing
handle it.
Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2. I mean, Josh, you wrote an article. You're doing the articles about new releases and stuff. So of course we're covering this on the site. And as of this recording, it'll be up on the website over at thescreamcast.com. Did you go through all the Facebook backlash and everything? I know you were kind of looking into this for the article, Josh. What kind of stuff did you see? Were people excited? Was it 50-50, or was it what did you see when you were looking into this?
I actually did go to the Facebook post and I looked at all of these comments. When I submitted the article, there were about 240 plus comments. And what was really disturbing was that it was about 50-50. There were people that were extremely excited about this, and then there was another 50 that were just vehemently opposed to Scream Factory putting these out. And
the thing that gets me these are already out on Blu-ray. It's so why, unless they got this in some sort of package deal, licensing deal, and they're already committed to releasing these, and they have, in order to make it worth the money they want to charge, they slap the collector's edition on there. That's the only thing that I can think of, if I'm being optimistic about Scream Factory. That's the only thing I can think of that would explain this. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
The only thing that I can think of from a business standpoint is the fact that they have announced the third one. So people, there's already a buzz about it. People are already talking about the titles again. So it's fresh in their minds. So that is the only thing that I can think of from a business standpoint of why they would do that.
Yeah, I think they probably acquired these a while ago.
Right, but, they wanted to wait until the third came out or was announced or what have you.
Uh-huh.
Business move, very intelligent. Ethical, absolutely not.
No.
And, when you're talking about, the 50% of people that's, are super pumped about it, the sad reality of it is that there are so many people that do not understand or even know that Salva is a convicted pedophile. They don't know that. So many people don't know because they've done such a good job of kind of erasing that from him. And very similarly to how, the Bill Cosby accusations didn't really start getting, talked about again until Hannibal Buress did, his stand-up set talking about it and calling it out. It hasn't been until recently when, thanks to the abundance of, horror bloggers or, whatever you want to say, where these smaller independent voices have been hey, this is fucked and here's why. Now people are talking about it again and it's getting that knowledge out. I mean, I wrote over a year ago my article about why is Victor Salva still making movies and why are you watching them? And to this day, people comment on it I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand how it isn't common knowledge. And then the fact that there are people that do know about it and are oh, well, he did his time. He didn't fucking steal an Xbox, people. he raped a fucking 14-year-old. Like there's a huge difference here. And it's mind-blowing to me. Like I think my biggest issue with it, and I got in like an argument with somebody about this on Facebook the other day about it. And anytime I say I argued with somebody on Facebook, I just want to fucking kill myself to begin with. But it was somebody who had children and was like, well, he did his time. He did this, you need to separate the art from the artist. And I'm like, well, okay, I understand that argument, separating the art from the artist. In Victor Salva's case, there is no separation.
Yeah.
Like the Jeepers Creepers films are one giant fucking metaphor for preying on young boys. And if you think it's anything other than that, you're stupid. Like, I'm really trying not to be a dick when people, sometimes a zombie movie is just a zombie movie, but trying to say, oh yeah, Dawn of the Dead is just a zombie film. It has no sort of social connotation is incorrect. And the same thing goes with Jeepers Creepers, saying that it is not anything other than a metaphor for preying on young boys is incorrect.
I think Clown House is even more than that. That's oh my god!
Yeah,
that was the thing that because here I'll say my piece. Because I'm with BJ. I'm with I'm Switzerland in a way on this thing. But I grew up watching Clown House, which was very hard for me later on when I found out exactly what was happening. And when it came about, because he made Jeepers Creepers, that's when I very first heard about it. It was, I think it was I used to go to a site called upcominghorrormovies.com, and that was where I kind of caught wind of the Jeepers Creepers movie. And then that's when kind of the comments and stuff were pouring in. And, I was young. I was in my, early teens, late teens, whatever. And that's kind of when I found out. I never revisited Clown House until, I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. We were having a bunch of people over, and we wanted to watch fucked up movies. And I said, well, if you want to watch something fucked up, I haven't seen this movie in a long time, and I think this is what this guy did. This guy made Jeepers Creepers. He made a Disney movie. He's still making movies today, and here's the background about the movie. And everybody was like, I don't know. And then eventually, like, we put it down, and everybody started having a few drinks, and they were like, okay, let's watch it. And I watched it again, and it's one of the most disturbing, unsettling things to actually watch because, this is the last movie this kid made. And the kid that's the star in it's the one that was, fucking raped and also videotaped, by the way.
Yep.
So it's not just word of mouth like, hey, Victor Salva raped me. No, there's video of molestation that occurred. So Clown House is completely off limits. I don't know if I'll be able to ever watch Clown House in a setting to where I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch this as a movie, because you're right. In that sense, it's
both
Victor
worlds
Salva
collide in that movie. Especially.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's, Victor Salva's on, like, weird things happen during that set. Yeah. The kids are in their fucking underwear through most of the movie. No one's putting on pants. And that's not, just, hey, let's be in our underwear. No, that's intentional. And then,
it's fucked.
We have, I agree. And so now we have Jeepers Creepers who, and BJ makes a good, valid point about kind of the whole thing where, it is a metaphor and it is hitting a little bit closer to home because, of how the creeper reacts, which I agree with. And when you said that, there are certain things in the film that reflect that. And therefore, what I'm against is Victor Salva continuing having a career.
Right.
Because what we're doing is we're just giving him more power to kind of do what he wants in his personal life and make money doing it and kind of just getting away with it. And I've had certain friends that live in LA, and I will not mention any names, but they have seen Victor Salva at like the New Beverly and places like that, having strung out teenagers around him, fucking kissing them in like the back of the theater. That's the truth. And that's fucking, like, that's what we're dealing with. Like, that's, Victor Salva isn't just a one and done type person.
And that thing is, the guys like
he's
that
a
aren't.
repeat offender.
Yeah.
And the problem with pedophilia is that these people don't seek help.
Right.
They do their time, and then they're set free into the world, and it's just even more fucked up than before.
And what really gets me, and, like, even if we're not looking at, because I've heard the argument of, like, well, what if Jeepers Creepers is his way of, like, dealing with what he cannot control? And, like, that's, his way of, like, getting out that therapeutic of, this is, who I am as a person. I identify myself as the creeper, and this prevents me from hurting another kid. Okay, that argument I can get behind. Completely valid. But, like you said, he's not getting help. He's not getting any better. And he has been spotted doing shit like this. And what kills me, absolutely kills me, is that a guy like this is being given money to continue to make films on a big budget level when he's done deplorable acts like this bullshit. And fucking people like Jeremy Gardner have to have people dump cans of beans on their heads and donate so that they can give their movie away for free. Like, it makes my fucking head spin. Like, I don't understand why people like Chris Brown can beat the shit out of people and have a successful music career, and Victor Salva can molest children and then make artwork that glorifies the molesting of boys, and then people who are genuinely talented and good people can't catch a break. It's like, there's no poetic justice. It's completely fucked up. And it just makes my skin crawl. It makes my fucking skin crawl.
And, and also to kind of settle the argument, because one thing I definitely saw on the forums and everything, and I've had this argument plenty of times with many people, is that, Polanski, Woody Allen. I was like, okay, that's fine. Think about their art, though. Think about what they're putting out. I'm talking about Victor Salva's Clown House, where he has the little boy that he raped.
Right.
Like, if you want to get graphic, he raped this boy on camera, and he put him in the movie in his underwear, and he's probably raping him during the production of the movie, before and after, and all that shit, and it ruined the kid's life.
Yeah.
So that's Polanski didn't make Rosemary's Baby and was raping the baby. Like, I know that sounds really fucked up,
well,
but
I think,
Polanski's convicted. That's fine. But his art isn't generating, like, he's not using his art form as, hey, I'm a pedophile. No, he's making a movie. What, because if you want to go through, like, you're going to condone every single filmmaker, what do you eat, like a fucking can of spaghetti, and you look who the manufacturer is, and you look who the president of the company is, and who's made the spaghetti to see if they're a pedophile? No. You can choose what you watch, what you eat. You can do anything like that if you want to investigate it.
Yeah.
But when you're using your art in order to act out a fantasy or anything like Salva's doing, that's where I have to draw the line. No. Yeah. I don't stop watching Polanski movies because I don't feel gross when I watch them.
Yeah.
I feel gross when I watch Clown House.
I have a hard time supporting anything new from Polanski just because
I'm the same way. Anything that he's done after the conviction, I don't pay attention to.
Yeah.
It might as well not exist to me, but I can't, like, the stuff that he did beforehand.
No, I can see that because you're supporting him, yeah.
Right, so that's
no,
where
the stuff that he's put out before, the classic films like Chinatown, Rosemary's Baby, like those weren't him, I guess, working through his demons in front of everyone as shit was going down. It's different context. But
but when you're watching the movie, you don't feel gross.
Exactly, right? Because they're not reflective of the crimes that he committed.
Correct.
I have a hard time now with Bill Cosby. I pretty much erased all his.
I've never liked Bill Cosby
because
everything he's done in my eyes is gone.
Me too.
Gone.
Because it's a different thing. Because he was trying to portray this everyday, kind of funny dad type character. And his humor was. He worked a little bit blue here and there, but his humor was very family oriented. And then now you realize during all that time what he was doing to coax women and having sex with them, and by drugging them and pretty much date raping them. We don't know. He hasn't been convicted yet, but that kind of overshadows everything that I held dear about who he was as a comedian. He was one of my favorite comedians. I can't go back and because it all rings false now and it's not funny.
No loss for me. I never liked Cosby.
Well, I like Cosby.
You would. But fucking dad jokes and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing that I am not looking forward to is the inevitable, like, hopefully it doesn't happen, but it probably will because the backlash has been so severe. I do not want to read the fucking, like, the mission statement or whatever the hell, like, the addressing the situation that you're going to get from a company like Scream Factory.
I don't think they're going to address it.
I fucking hope they don't. Because they've done it before, like they did with Dog Soldiers, and you know when people were complaining about that, they were like, "Right, it's a completely different context." Yeah. But that makes me think, you know, if
but at the same time, I think they should because this is something. This is another level because you know another argument because I would like to address the arguments because I mean I do have a valid point, but also let me say this: I should have said this in the beginning because this is my view on things. If people want to watch the movies, that's fine. They can do whatever the fuck they want. If you're not affected by that personally, which you kind of should be in a way, especially if you have kids, you know, that's a different story. But I'm not going to condone somebody that watches Jeepers Creepers because I mean, personally, like, you know what BJ said, there's a metaphor there, but a lot of people may not catch it. Like they watch, you know, Dawn of the Dead
for Justin Long or The Creature.
Or, you know, they're watching it as a monster movie because sometimes, you know, a metaphor goes over my head in a movie. I'm like, I didn't understand. I didn't get that at all through that movie. That movie's either decent or is just a piece of shit. You know, like, you know, I think going on preconceived notions of if you read BJ's article, then watch The Creeper, then you're going to have that in the back of your head, then you're going to notice it. I think it's there. I just think it's how you know, perceive the film. Yeah. But anyways, I kind of got off topic because I was trying to remember where I was going. Is that, you know, with the thing is people are saying, well, you know, Scream Factories are releasing this, you know, obviously MGM holds the rights. Victor Salva's not going to see a dime. Well, correct. He's not. However, if revenue boosts with DVD sales and stuff like that, and Jeepers Creepers, you know, it's a big seller for them, companies will see that. MGM will see that. And they're going to give him more money to do more sequels or more movies. Like, just because Victor Salva, you're not putting the money in Victor Salva's pocket so he can go, you know, pay off.
It doesn't mean that there's not going to be a direct correlation.
He's going to get more work because that's how movies are successful on, you know, video on demand now, is that if the movie's successful and, you know, has a cult following, which Jeepers Creepers does because it's known as a decent monster movie from, you know, the early 2000s when we were suffering from horror films. We had an effective horror film. You know, because I remember watching Jeepers Creepers the first time and, you know, ended up kind of liking it. Oh, yeah. And it's still in the back of my head. I still enjoy the aspect of the idea of Jeepers Creepers. Now, watching Jeepers Creepers with the mind of Victor Salva raping kids, it's completely ruined for me. You know, but I mean, I think that's all the person, how they want to, you know, perceive the movie. If they can separate the art from the person strictly, which I know that's the argument that we're on, is, you know, stuff like Polanski and everything. But if people don't see that, they just don't see it. You know, the connection's not there, and I don't fault them for it. You know, and if you love Jeepers Creepers, if you love Clown House, personally, I don't really care, but I think that you should care about promoting Salva and getting him more money. I think it should be one of those things where you just fucking pirate the shit out of Jeepers Creepers. You know, download Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, download Clown House, download Powder if you want to watch those movies, and don't ever fucking say anything, and don't give Salva a dime or any of these companies. Because that's what's just going to fund it, because he's fucking had a movie a couple years ago called, what, The Dark House?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and then he had Rosewood Lane a couple years, you know, after that. The guy's still making movies and still living in Hollywood and living a dream. And he shouldn't be. He should still. I don't understand how you rape kids and you're on video and you only serve 15 months.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking insane.
He should have his balls and his bait and tackle cut off.
Yeah, but
that should
anyways,
be a punishment for pedophilia. They just
we
your
all
junk
have
off.
different we all have different views on the what should happen to Salva, what you should do with his movies, if you should watch a movie, you shouldn't. I think it should be up to the person personally. If you're not affected by it, that's fine, I guess. I'm not 100% on board with it, but whatever.
I think just be informed.
Victor Salva should not be making movies is the bottom line.
Yeah.
If we could have that,
Yes.
if we could have that Victor Salva can, serve the time and then also be just put on an island without anybody around and not making movies and not being successful filmmaker and not getting millions of dollars to make a trilogy for Jeepers Creepers that's probably going to make, $100 million. That is what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
His past movies, whatever, they're done. I can't do anything about it. But Victor Salva continuing having a career, that's the main issue that we need to focus on.
Yeah. Oh.
And anything promoting him is a problem too.
And I guarantee you, we're going to get some comments on our website and some
that's
tweets.
Fine. But remember, for the listeners that remember, there's no reason
we're too liberal or whatever.
No,
I don't give a shit. I
it's
give
to each,
zero fucks.
To each his own on that. To each his own. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. We're not telling you.
Yeah.
But the one thing I am saying is that we should not be having Victor Salva giving him any money or any reason to any company giving him any money because that's where we're fucked up. If you continued to go to Subway to get a footlong so Jared could get footlongs, that's a fucking problem.
That's a good analogy. It's pretty much what you're doing.
We have, there's a thing because we're continuing giving people money. I know fucking Jared's in jail or whatever, but I'm still not going to fucking Subway. And I like Subway. I do. But I'm never going again.
No, man. Jersey Mike's is where it's at. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, dude, they have the worst roast beef ever.
It's just weird to me because I feel like the same people that were arguing, saying, "Oh, well, he did his time separate the art from the artist or whatever," are the same people that would boycott Chick-fil-A because they don't support, gay rights or whatever. I don't know what it is about artistry, but people suddenly that's the line.
Yeah.
Is, oh, it doesn't matter. No, it does fucking matter. It does.
No, it matters. And you on it. Go ahead, Josh. You've been quiet too much. What are you saying?
I'm just trying to keep my blood level down because, I don't know, there's too many feelings. But, and that's the reason why. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that it's one of those things that put yourself in the position of the dad or mother of the little boy in Clown House. How would you feel if your child was raped and then you watch this man walk and then continue to be idolized as, a horror filmmaker that is making millions of dollars, continuing making movies, basically getting his start by raping your child behind closed doors on the set of the movie that you let him be on. Think about that.
Exactly.
Let just sink in for a second. Think about your child getting ass raped by a fucking dude on a movie set that you let that happen, and then you get to see him walk. I know that sounds really crude, but that's the reality of it. That's what happened.
And that is why I posted a link to BJ's post about this in the article that I wrote.
Because you haven't seen
because
Jeepers
there's more
Creepers,
attention. Right? I never saw Jeepers Creepers or Jeepers Creepers 2 or anything by Victor Salva. Now I have no desire to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you have to if you look at it. I know that sounds. I'm not going to say it again. This is really fucked up. But however, I think that needs to be said because that's what you need to put in people's heads. Is he's because you have to really think about what he's done and think about as people that are victims. We can sit around and you can joke about rape, whatever you want, blah blah blah, shove the stuff out of your ass, fucking pigs. But anyways. You can joke about that stuff, But what about the person sitting next to you? That was molested. Think about how that makes them feel. Think about people that have been down that road that are watching Victor Salva that can actually relate to the victim. Well, you've never been touched as a kid. Great. Good for you. But what about all the people that has us dealing with this shit? Because that's where people get stirred up. So you have to.
That's 1,000% where my issue is. And I even, called it out when I was arguing with somebody about it. They were like, they just didn't understand it. And they kept telling me that, like, my opinion was wrong. My opinion was this. And I was like, all right, cool. You want to tell somebody who was the same age as Salva's victim when they were assaulted how I should feel about this? Be my fucking guest. Tell me how I'm supposed to feel. Because you don't understand. And it's disgusting. And, like, it's one of those awful situations where I hope to God that these ignorant fuckers never do have to understand. But the day that they do, I mean...
Yeah.
People are gross. People are gross.
So, sorry for getting super political on the show, people.
That's fine.
It's okay. Look, I mean... It's good to be passionate about stuff.
We do it every once in a while. We only do it every once in a while.
I know. Then we get one person who blocks us on Twitter and says we're just trying to. I liked you guys until you started talking about like morals and stuff.
That's fine. Have fun voting for Donald Trump, you fucking ignorant piece of garbage.
But it's called life. I mean, it happens, and if you need to be rude and crude about it, like I was, I'm sorry if you're offended. If I said it or if I didn't say it, whatever, doesn't matter. It needs to be said because you need to have that image in your head.
Yeah.
Because I have a 10-year-old daughter. Sean has kids.
Yep.
BJ has cousins and sisters and stuff like that. I'm sure Josh has family members. So think about your loved ones when you think about that type of thing. Think about if that happened to them and how you would feel. Because that's kind of how we feel. So
there you go. All right. Well, let's turn this episode around here.
Yeah, please do.
Would you let Victor Salva babysit your little sister or little brother?
God.
Think about it that way.
Right,
huh?
right, yeah.
No.
Yeah, give him money. Give him money for his movie. Would you let him babysit your kid?
Your son be in Jeepers Creepers 3? No, you would not.
How about you know what I would let my son be in? Sundown.
Let's jump into Screams.
Nate, wake up!
There's something very important I forgot to tell you.
Don't fucking scream at me!
You scream, I'll break your neck.
Don't scream, miss. Don't scream.
All right, today we're talking about 1989 or 1990. I've seen both years.
I want to apologize for this because I remember watching Sundown as a child. And I really, really like Sundown. And I have no idea what I was thinking. Because this is the first time I revisited it in a long time.
This is directed by Anthony Hickox. Yeah, Sundown.
He did Waxworks.
Sundown.
So you had terrible taste as a child, is what you're saying.
I need you to relax.
Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat. I was watching this same time
I was watching Clown House.
I'm trying to say this so we can get to the voice, the clip. Sundown, the Vampire in Retreat.
Welcome to Purgatory. This small Arizona community is home to a very select group of retirees. Here they live long lives, share the same desires and the same needs, like blood.
How can you drink that stuff called
synthetic blood?
It tastes real.
So they won't have to kill anyone.
Don't you ever miss warm human blood.
Now, come sundown, everyone's going batty.
What kind of bullets can kill vampires?
Fortified wood.
David Carradine, Morgan Brittany, and Deborah Foreman.
I wasn't gonna bite you.
In Sundown. Now they gotta fight for the right to bite.
Jesus Christ.
Sounds like a sweet summer camp.
This title is horrible. Now this is a movie that I back when I was first trying to start buying a whole bunch of horror Blu-rays DVDs. This was one that I had bought. I had the special edition. I think it was Anchor Bay, right? That released the special edition DVD. So I had that for the longest time. I think I ended up selling it because I was trying to find it, and we were, I was like, I think I got this on DVD. Couldn't find it, but I had never watched it, and I finally rented this on. No, I bought it on Vudu. I bought it because it's Bruce Campbell. And you guys are talking shit on it. I had a lot of fun with it.
Well,
I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not overly terrible, but man, this movie is like, I don't know. I think the reason why is it has a lot of potential, and it has a lot of good moments, but it's just,
it's a mess.
I don't know. Yeah,
it's a bit of a mess.
It's just a big letdown. And
it's a horror comedy. Like we got this town filled with vampires. They have a factory trying to create
Are you reading the
blood.
back of the box like a YouTuber?
No, I'm not. I'm remembering the plot. So for some reason their plant isn't working. They're expecting the guy who I guess built the plant or created the synthetic blood to come and help fix it. So there's that. He brings along his family. So there's that aspect of it. We got Bruce Campbell showing up in this film
Van Helsing,
as a relation to Van Helsing. He's in like full slapstick comedy mode.
But I actually like Bruce Campbell in this movie because he's not playing the fucking Ash character like he does in every other movie than Evil Dead.
He's fantastic. I wish this movie was more focused on Bruce Campbell because he shows up almost as an afterthought to kind of get a few plot points moving, but he really doesn't do a whole hell of a lot. It's more about this guy and his wife may or may not have boned the guy who set up the town or whatever, the factory or whatever. There's question on, whether or not... I
love when you explain movies.
Whether or not he's like the father of one of his daughters. Plus they're in this weird town. I mean, there's like
remember
a
that thing I said
bunch of
about
stuff.
Mess?
Yeah, no, it's a mess. And then it turns into a full-blown Western at the end.
Yeah, good.
See, but I'm not against
action.
vampire Westerns. I'm all about vampire Westerns.
I had so much fun with this movie, even though it was a total mess. There was no straight through line, no kind of, set up, point A to point B. There's, first act, third act, second act, or whatever. I can't think. It's almost like a first act, third act, second act. There's no through line to the film. It just kind of things happen, and now we're gonna do this, and now we're gonna do this. But
yep.
But it's fun.
It's just very disjointed.
Yeah.
It's got fun moments, I would argue, and then I mean Bruce Campbell is just being Bruce Campbell, so that's always fun. But man, I wish that there was a more comprehensive story to it. Like, I wish there was a plot that actually made some fucking sense and actually finished itself.
Bad vampires that want to take over the town and stop drinking blood, and they want to eat
But then there's like a
humans.
vampire civil war that doesn't...
Right. That kind of came out of nowhere where he's one guy's
so
gathering
weird.
troops.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that whenever people want to argue about remakes, I want to be like, hey, do you know what movie should have a remake? Sundown. Because it has such a good idea and so many good things in it. It's just executed very sloppily. So that's the movie that would be perfect for a remake. Get somebody who can make this sweet-ass vampire western, but make it, I don't know, under fucking standable.
There you go.
When they turn into bats, and there's two bats just kind of sitting on a branch, and the one bat's like, all right, I'm gonna go in and see what's up, and the other bat goes, you mean you're gonna be naked? And he flies in,
That's the type of comedy you like, though.
And he's spying on the woman, but it's this stupid kind of comedy moment about being naked because you're a bat and you're gonna transform into your vampire self. But then it turns into this then it's supposed to be this kind of scary moment where he appears in the wife's bedroom, right? And it's supposed to be this tense moment. It's just the comedy beats kind of don't flow into one another,
No, not at all.
Because talking bats that's super silly slapstick. Freudian slip, everybody. Thinking about dicks. Well, the guy was naked. Jesus Christ. Right.
Slapping the bat dicks.
Yeah, slapping the bat dick. Oh man. But you're right. There is there's some tonal shifts that don't really make sense. But like I said, it ends on this vampire western note that just goes for broke. David Carradine as Mardalak is great, and like I said, Bruce Campbell's kind of left behind. I think he
doesn't
really wish
show
he
up
did
until
more.
like 30 minutes of the movie. It should have been Dana Ashbrook's movie. Dana Ashbrook should have been the star.
Yeah.
Dana Ashbrook is great.
Was he the bad guy? Was he the?
No, he's the kid that's looking through it's the two friends that see their friends head get knocked off.
Yeah. The beginning's great. You got to admit, though.
Yeah, he's Tom Essex in fucking Return of the Living Dead 2.
Yeah.
Truth.
Come on,
Yeah,
man. Fucking, he's in fucking Stephen C. Miller's Aggression Scale.
Yeah.
He's in the fucking Willies that we talked about with Brian Peck. Like, he's in everything.
We're in so many full circles right now.
Wow.
Like, we're like Venn diagramming with our full circles right now.
So Josh is quiet because Josh hasn't seen this flick yet.
No, didn't have time to see it.
We're not talking me into it.
No, we're not at all. Josh, are we talking you into this? I had fun with it, man. I like I said, it's one of those. You
know what? Don't do it. Don't listen to Sean.
You just put it on and enjoy for what it is. You know?
Hey, Deborah Foreman's in it, and she's a Valley girl.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also,
you should watch it at least once.
Yeah, no, it's a one-timer.
I would rent this.
It's
I would
a
rent
one-timer.
this. Don't buy it.
I should have rented it.
That's what I was thinking. Bruce Campbell, so I'll give it a shot.
All right. Anyway, that was our discussion on Sundown, the vampire in retreat.
I tell you, the only thing that
Anything
comes
else?
good out of this movie is Anthony Hickox is the director, and he made one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time called Full Eclipse, where an elite group of cops are taking down fucking L.A., but they're all fucking werewolves.
Oh, yeah.
That's a killer fucking plot.
God, you've been talking about this flick. That is that on DVD?
Yeah. I talk about Full Eclipse at least monthly to everybody. So I know that when we did our episode with Todd Farmer when we talked about werewolves, I mentioned it. And then, Ryan Turek is always big on Full Eclipse. But yeah, watch Full Eclipse. Like, fucking action in that movie, the special effects. Like, you literally have Mario Van Peebles teaming up with Bruce Payne's fucking League of Vampires. Werewolves, just kicking fucking ass.
Hell yeah.
I need to revisit that one.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Awesome. I think we'll move on to our VHS, oh my god. Yeah?
VHS, oh my god. Watch Full Eclipse.
Video, oh my god.
Nikki.
Well, here we are at last. Right where we ought to be. Video. Oh my god!
Today, for this segment, we are talking about The Night Brings Charlie.
Oh, good. The rag patrol's here.
Are you trying to give Dad a heart attack? I thought I told you to stay inside.
Be cool. Don't tell him. We're going right back.
Get in. I'm taking you home.
But the party just started.
Well, maybe you should have thought of that.
Don't be such a bitch.
Get in. Now.
I'm sorry.
You really know how to screw up a great night.
Dude, this
Vietnam,
movie's
man.
fucking killer.
Fucking Vietnam.
Fucking Vietnam.
That should be the tagline of this movie. The night
Vietnam.
comes Charlie. Fucking Vietnam.
No, the VHS artwork for this, I love the styling of the title. It's badass. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah, it's got the sweet ass
like
font.
the text, the font is awesome.
Yeah, him and his getup and shit.
Because it's back to when people did shit by hand. There ain't no papyrus up in this bitch. That is a hand-painted font.
This is 1990, so into the 90s. It feels very 80s to me, though. So it didn't feel
it
very...
was released in the 90s. I'm pretty sure they, filmed it in the 80s.
Yeah. But this is a short and sweet slasher, directed by Tom Logan.
I don't know what
Tom Logan did. His name's on it.
I tried looking it up on IMDb and I found nothing.
He's done a whole lot of stuff, but nothing. Oh, he's a co-director on Shakma. Yeah.
Can we not talk about that?
Shakma is awesome.
Okay.
Door humping baboon.
Well, the reason why, fine. You know what? You ruined Sundown. I'm not going to let you ruin The Night Brings Charlie.
Yeah, I'm turning it over to you, Brad.
The Night Brings Charlie. I'm a big fan of slashers, and when you can tell a slasher in kind of a unique way, of not the traditional shit that was weird. Yeah, I mean, because I say traditional shit, but I love you put a guy in a mask killing teenagers. I fucking love it automatically. Teenagers suck. So, but when you're coming off of the 80s with kind of, just piles and piles and piles of, horror films, when you have someone that's trying to do something unique, but trying to, kind of stretch out a slasher, and then it just gets swept under the rug because people are kind of done with it. And this is a movie that kind of suffered that. It never actually saw the light of day because it was released on VHS and then has never been heard of again. And it's, one of those tapes that I think is pretty hard to find. I've never seen it really in the wild aside from one time when I got to pick it up. And that's when I very first saw it. I know it has quite the fan base for what it is because, it's also playing kind of tribute to, the Friday the 13th with, Charlie wearing kind of the burlap sack with his little goggles that he has on. He's deformed from an incident with a chainsaw or whatever. And, it kind of does a whodunit story as far as a slasher goes, but it lets you in on what's going on a little early. So that way you can enjoy it where you're not trying to figure out who the guy behind the mask is. You're trying to figure out exactly who is responsible in the party of who's telling the truth, kind of that scenario, right. I think. And I think that's what plays more to me rather than, a guy just hacking up kids. There's kind of and it's not a good movie. It's very corny. It has a lot of one-liners that are just really silly. The secretary in this movie is my favorite thing.
She's my favorite character in the movie.
She is fucking hysterical. The things, just the quirky music that's playing behind them as they just have that.
Well, she says stuff like,
dialogue.
"Hey, watch the phones. I'm gonna go pee."
Yeah, it's just that's what's enjoyable. But I really truly think that they're trying to do something unique. But I think it was just the wrong timing. And being that this film has never seen a DVD release, it was easily forgotten about. And I don't want to compare it because it's a completely different movie. But The House of Yellow Carpet is what comes to mind. Is people trying to be so unique with a genre. I say so unique like they were really fucking striking gold with The Night Brings Charlie, and that's not what I'm saying at all. But they were trying to be different from your normal slasher.
Yeah, it's definitely not it doesn't follow the strict formula of a bunch of teenagers at a party or at a camp or whatever.
Right. It has that type of just kind of weirdness to it. It's the same thing as Scream for Help. Kind of how that movie's set up. It's the same way. They're trying to do something different, not follow suit of what every single movie does. Because the fucking Burning is Friday the 13th, and you just have all these repeats of these masked slashers using lawn equipment to fucking kill kids. That's fun. Those movies are great, and I don't fault them for that. But I just really like stuff like The Night Brings Charlie because there's a lot of heart behind it. It feels like they were really trying to do something cool and different. They just failed for numerous reasons, but they still made it an enjoyable movie that I wish people would see and would get, a DVD release or a Blu-ray release. And this is something I think is up in the air because I don't know who owns this movie anymore.
Yeah, it was like released on, I don't know, some off title on the
it's
company,
like,
wasn't it?
Let me look.
Quest Entertainment.
Quest. I don't know who that is.
Right. So who bought Quest? Like who grabbed all these? Is there even a negative or anything left?
Yeah. So this is something that I wish that was kind of rediscovered and found. Because I think it would be a fun little movie to have like a kind of a resurgence.
Josh, what were your thoughts on The Night Brings Charlie?
Surprisingly, I really liked this one. I actually never heard of this movie before, we did this, before getting to do this show.
Yeah, neither.
And, right. I'm surprised. I mean, there were, a lot of these little slasher movies that were on video store shelves around the same time, but no, this one escaped me, and I really enjoyed it. The Secretary is my favorite character, and yeah, they tried to do something unique with it, with the whole whodunit aspect, and that felt very, very short for me. I mean, Charlie is a pretty intimidating killer, and that burlap bag and the goggles, it's pretty terrifying. I was really, really surprised that I found that character somewhat terrifying in this quickie little movie that, it has a lot of faults. It's a little cheesy, but it's still a good time, and it's only 76 minutes.
Right.
And perfect time for a slasher movie.
It's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for anything that is kind of Scooby-Doo for adults. Like anytime you have kind of the red herrings or, people that are in masks and who's in the mask. I'm a total sucker for that, and I think it probably is rooted entirely in watching too much Scooby-Doo as a kid. But that's exactly what, this movie is. It completely is. It's playing with kind of the conventions of a whodunit film as well as a slasher film. I love that it's non-formulaic, but then at the same time, then you get it in your head like that. I almost wish that it was a little bit more formulaic, because then it probably would have been a little bit easier to follow. It's not that this movie is difficult to follow by any means. It's pretty on the nose. But because it is a slasher movie that doesn't follow, traditional slasher conventions, I think that does make it a little bit more fun and adventurous. And I've seen this movie pop up on a lot of the long lost slashers you've never heard of lists. It'll pop up every once in a while, but up until this, I hadn't really felt the need to track it down, and I'm glad that I did. I mean, I don't regret watching it. I don't know if it's something that I'd really recommend. It's not going to be, something that pops into the front of my brain whenever somebody asks me to, recommend them an obscure slasher film. But I think that this also can fall kind of in the latter part of transitionary horror. I think that it's, there's nothing in it that's horribly grotesque, and there's nothing in it that's crazy inappropriate. So I don't know. I think that it, obviously I'm not going to show it to a 12-year-old, but, maybe that mid-range age, I think this would be a good one to kind of introduce them before you hit them with something a little harder. I don't know. It's weird, and I really do like kind of that Vietnam PTSD weird storyline, because this is a really early interpretation of that sort of fear that a lot of people have of going to war and just kind of losing it. So I don't know. I think they were really ambitious with this, and I liked it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I like it.
Cool. It is up on YouTube as of now.
Correct.
So you can find it there. I'm going to start a band with, I'm going to call it The Night Brings Charlie, because that's just an awesome band name.
It is such a good
and
good
that
title.
font would make a great T-shirt.
Hell yeah, it would.
Just to let you know,
I'd buy one.
Looks. What?
What were you gonna say?
You'd buy Sean's shirt?
I'm just bullshitting. Yeah, I'm just bullshitting about making T-shirts that don't sell.
Well, I was gonna say, looking up Quest Entertainment's history, they had a very, very, very short run. They released only known 6 titles. And 2 of those 6 were up in the air for rights to be purchased because Vinegar Syndrome released one called Luther the Geek.
Oh.
And Code Red is releasing Happy Hell Night. So the other 4 are Darkroom, which is a really fun movie, Escape, which is great, The Spring, which I haven't seen, and of course The Night Brings Charlie. So as of right now, I emailed Vinegar Syndrome saying, yo, The Night Brings Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's something that would be cool, because it looks like... Because these other movies aren't released by anybody that I know of, so it looks like this could have been one of these companies that, went out of business in the 90s. No one, they weren't Vestron or Lightning Video, so...
Yeah, so nobody scooped them up.
Yeah, no one scooped them up because they were so small. This is like the company Let Us Entertain You, where it was LETTUCE, which I think is absolutely fucking brilliant. Those movies never got picked up by a lot of people, and they're still circling. So, it's one of those things where it's public domain, and you got the negative.
Well, these covers are awesome.
Do it.
These VHS covers are great.
Yeah, that's the thing that I wish that would catch on. Is a lot of these companies. That's why I think Facebook and Twitter is really needed in situations for companies like Vinegar Syndrome and Arrow, because they do take suggestions.
Yeah.
They're not like, Scream Factory, which no fault on them. I think they do a great
I think it's just Scream Factory is a different animal because they're linked to a more of a corporate, like Shout Factory is a lot bigger.
Right. And they're mostly just doing business with MGM. They're not really going out hardcore, digging through basements trying to find negatives of movies that are in public domain.
Yeah, they got different.
So I think somebody fucking listen to the show and do our our stream screams, or actually stream screams and also VHS on
video. Oh my god!
I know some of those movies are Lionsgate, of course, but there's a lot of movies that like The Night Brings Charlie is gonna. He's only from the 90s, and it's dead. Like, the movie doesn't really exist. And it's really sad, Because, you think about it, it might not be a great movie, but for a movie just to disappear... Because think about it. Think about all the production that goes into making a movie, all the people involved, putting it out, finding distribution, putting copies out there, it running on the shelf, and then your piece of work literally evaporates. Like, it's not like in an art museum where it's hanging for 500 years or 1,000 where, it's loved from all over the world. You have a movie that you put you poured your heart and soul into and had all these people work on it, and then no one knows about it. Like, it seems kind of devastating to me. Like, honestly, like, that could give me anxiety. I mean, think about it, though. I mean, just a movie disappearing?
Yeah.
That is pretty insane to really think about. But you're happens. Absolutely right. It does happen. Yeah. And like anytime somebody, makes fun of me for having a working VHS player or a beta player for that matter, it's like, well, because so many of these movies, that's the only way you can see them. And like they're still valid just because they haven't made the jump to like the digital revolution doesn't mean that they're any less important.
True.
Yeah. But, it's like one of those things, like, it's different from, like, a restaurant that goes out of business because, they serve food and then it's done. Like, this is actually something that was manufactured and made by, the thousands. And, all these companies, all these video stores, it's like, oh, DVD's coming out. Let me just throw these away. And so many tapes were thrown out. And a lot of these titles were because they didn't rent. And then all these tapes are destroyed, and then we just have probably a couple hundred left. And what happens to those tapes? They deteriorate. They break. And there's no, like, we just have a digital file of a VHS tape, but once that computer crashes or you delete it because you watch it, as like, a torrent on some of these movies, you delete it. That's just another, it's like the 9 Lives. It's just one marking one right after the other until only one person has it left. And what if they delete it? It's like gone completely. It's insane.
That's crazy.
It's erased, and that's what's crazy to me. Like, people are like, "Oh, it's going to be somewhere." No, there are movies that you cannot find. Like right now, you cannot find them, and that's scary. I mean, they do probably exist out there in some fucking basement, or the print is out there somewhere. But as of right now, those movies are not existent anymore.
Well, we'll do what we can to champion the cause.
Yeah, so if you fucking like a movie, tell somebody about it, because, it could be sitting in some fucking warehouse right now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. If you see something, you say something. Golden rule.
All right. Well, it's about time to wrap up the show.
Yeah, it is 1 a.m. my time. What's up?
Please check out our sponsors, Coffee Shop of Horrors. Also, let's see. Grindhouse Video. Grindhouse Video is going to do something else to support the show. Where they're not going to be doing the coupon code anymore for them, but they are going to get involved with helping out with a monthly giveaway. So more details on that when I get it. Wolfman of Mars has a brand new album out, so check them out. wolfmanofmars.bandcamp.com. The album's really fun, really fun, and of course go to inkspatters.com and check out the art of Kevin Spencer, and he has some t-shirts and some artwork and stuff like that. If you're looking for someone to design stuff, freelance design work, he's your man. He designed our logo. As always, if you support any of our sponsors in any way, email us, readme@thescreamcast.com with a screenshot of your transaction, and we will add you to the monthly drawing that we'll do for some free shit. All right, Josh, where can people find you online, good sir?
You can find me on Twitter at Dr. Splatter. And that's probably the best way to find me. Otherwise, just keep reading, just keep coming back to thescreamcast.com and read my stuff.
Check out one of your most recent things is the interview, the Homicidal Homemaker interview with Casey Hansen.
Oh, yeah.
And check out her show. It's really fun. Her horror-themed cooking show. Well, that's a great interview, and definitely everyone make sure you guys read that. And
I'd just like to take a moment to, publicly say to Josh that he's doing a great job, and we're happy to have him on board of the ScreamCast family. And
you're doing great, man.
From a fan coming on, just liking the show, interacting with us, to becoming, part of because if you like us, you're part of the family. But to be like, actually taking on such a, hey, you want to run the site because we're like busy, and just saying and
no
doing
pressure.
it for free and all that, and no pressure at all. But anyways, thank you for doing what you do. You do a great job, and every time that article we get an email and you post it, we appreciate it 100%, even if we might not be thanking you endlessly all the time. We truly think you're doing a fabulous job.
Totally. Brad.
Yeah.
Are you writing anywhere at this juncture or no?
No. I'm writing, but I'm not doing anything for ScreamCast. I'm leaving that all to Josh. Fuck it.
Yeah. Oh shoot, we just lost Josh. And then BJ, where are you writing these days?
You can find me kind of all over the place. I did take a brief hiatus from writing just due to medical complications from the cancers. But I'm I guess I haven't really made it public on this yet. I do not have to get radiation for a whole year.
Yeah.
And that means that I'm currently, detoxing out all of my old meds. And in I guess the next week or so, my brain is expected to be back to kind of like normal capacity. I'm still going to have like my weird mess ups with the things that I say sometimes, just because my brain doesn't work 100% correctly the way that it used to. But I can actually write coherently again, creative thought, not just like analytical data processing. So I'm really pumped about that. So hopefully you should see me start popping back up on Day of the Woman, which is nominated for a Rondo this year, guys.
Yeah.
So Day of the Woman, Icons of Fright, and Blumhouse.com. So be looking for that. Obviously, you can always follow me on Twitter at BJ Colangelo. Doesn't change. It's my name. It's my same thing on Instagram, same thing on Facebook. Find me, add me, do what you got to do.
Nice. All right, guys. You can find us, of course. Go to thescreamcast.com, and that's where you find all the rest of our stuff. And I believe you'll be able to find our Twitter there, and you can find me and Brad through the Twitter right there. All of you have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for listening in. And, if you ever want to drop us a line, read me at thescreamcast.com. Do it.
Yeah.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Wait, Josh is back on the call.
Oh, Josh is back on the call. Josh, say goodbye.
Skynet!
Oh, don't tell me you're leaving. The party's just begun.